Hi villaging friends, and welcome to the start of part 9 of Building Holiday Hills. This is the last segment of Building Holiday Hills, and it's going to be going over some ground covering options, primarily focusing on snow. Now, today I'm going to be using some Woodland Scenic Snow for my snow ground cover, along with some Mod Podge. So let's get started and finish this build. Hi villaging friends. Okay, so what we have here is ground cover that I use for my pathway in my Halloween village. Now I want to recycle as much as I can. It's got some glue on it, that side. So even with the little bits of green in here, I'm okay with that. Now this is going to be like the path and road all throughout Holiday Hills, and I'm just going to be taking some Mod Podge. We're going to be dumping this in. That's a little more. All right. So the whole goal with this, I want this stuff to be somewhat tacky. I don't want it to move. Now this is going to dry with a matte finish, which is A-okay. Add a little bit more. May have gone a little too heavy on the Mod Podge. But that's okay. Once you get the practice. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. So you want it kind of forms, but doesn't. So now we can take this over to Holiday Hills. Installing the gravel into Holiday Hills is a really simple and fun process. Now earlier in this build I had painted a road and some pathways with brown paint. This was my guidelines of where I wanted my road to be. Now I'm just simply going to be covering all of that brown with my rocks that are covered in Mod Podge. Now this will dry and set pretty fast, so you have to work pretty quickly. You can use your hand like I'm doing. I then switched over to a spoon to kind of lay it into place because I'm working in such small and confined areas, and I don't want rocks to go absolutely everywhere, because where there is white, there is going to be a heavy snowfall later. Now, if you followed along throughout the entire build, I've actually been very undecided on what I wanted to do for the road on the very top section of Holiday Hills, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not going to be putting gravel up there. I'm just going to do a heavy snowpack, and let it be a snowy walkway. As I come around to the township, you can see that down in the bottom, I originally had the fountain, and I have moved that up to the Yulesteiner Brewery because I've done Christmas in the Park with Meeting Santa. So you have your photo opportunity, you can sit with Santa, you got your Christmas tree, your carolers, and of course some Department 56 luminaries that I repurposed for this build. Now with the whole Santa in the Park aspect, there's going to be a snow effect here as well, but it's not going to be a very heavy snow effect because if you were to go to, let's say, a Christmas in the Park, you're going to have pathways, you're going to have walkways, you're going to have, safe places for people. And I'm going to carry that on with the village. Now, depending on the environmental factors of where you install this, heat and humidity play a factor into dry time. I am working in a very low humidity area right now at a nice warm temperature, so this is drying really fast. Now, we can go and move on to adding snow to Holiday Hills. Alright, villaging friends, so here we have some Woodland Scenic Soft Flake Snow. Now, I'm going to be using this today in conjunction with Mod Podge and a little bit of water to make a snowy paste. Now, this is going to get applied in certain areas kind of as a, like snowbanks. and snow drifts. Now, my whole plan with this actually is to make this up and put it in a piping bag and then kind of go around and have some fun with it. So let's get started. Now, as for my measurements, there aren't going to be any measurements on this. The reason I say that is if you look around, especially on YouTube or anywhere else, there are literally hundreds of different recipes. You know, do 1-to-1, 3-to-1, 3-2-1 rules, you know. Pick your poison. All I'm going to be looking for is a consistency in the snow itself. It's going to be very pasty. So I'm using my fingers today. So this already looking pretty awesome, but still a little bit dry. Now I'm going to use one Mod Podge. Now the water I am using today, just so you're aware, is not cold water, but it's slightly warm water. So this almost has like a shortbread consistency now. And that looks like some pretty darn awesome snow. Even picking that up by hand doesn't really stick to my hands very much, which is perfect for this particular project. Now, if you are going to be doing this method and make snow banks, snow drifts, you can also use baking soda, a little bit of paint, Mod Podge, and water to make a kind of paste with that as well. The problem with that is it will yellow. Now, depending on how long you have your display up, that may not be a concern whatsoever. This will potentially yellow because of the Mod Podge in it, but I'm hopeful with the white of the snow, it won't be too bad. But it's only going to be up for a few weeks, so I'm not concerned about it. Oh, there we go. We have snow. We can move around and manipulate. Let's grab a piping bag. So, I'll say as this dries on my fingers, it gets a nice, fun texture to it. Alright, so it's just going to get open tip. That should be. Alright, so that's not coming through quite like I had hoped, but that's okay. That's okay. You know what, instead of just using the tip, I think I'm just going to use the bag. Let's see if we can't cut that tip off a little bit. Oh yeah, that could work. Alright, let's go make some snow drifts. The thing I like about piping snow onto a platform is that it's fast and it's easy. However, as I'm doing this, I'm realizing two things. One, it's drying really fast, so in the bag it's getting stiffer and harder to work with. So I'm just piping as fast as I can, and ultimately I'm going to get around a few edges with this, and then we're just going on to the spoon-on method. Using a piping bag really does allow you to get around like nooks and crannies very, very easily. And like all of these sharp edges that I still have, just adding a little bit of snow to the top softens them up completely. This also kind of forms a barrier of where the other snow is going to be placed as well within Holiday Hills, so it doesn't run off, per se. For this particular build, I have 2 containers of the Woodland Scenic Snow, and I'm hoping I make it through. It's going to be close. Now, I would love to say this is the easiest and cleanest thing in the entire world to work with when you're adding snow with glue to a platform, but it obviously is going to be a little bit messy. That's why I'm wearing latex gloves today, to keep it off of my hands, because it is a very fine particulate and it does stick to absolutely everything. Now, I have a drop cloth in front of Holiday Hills to catch any snow that I inadvertently drop or that falls off the edge of the front of the platform, so I don't get it onto my carpet down below. With the piping bag getting really hard to work with, I've just switched over to just the drop and place method. Now I'm just simply going around, and anywhere that there's white paint on the platform, I am putting some snow. The overall goal and look that I want with this is a village that has had a heavy snowpack, but is lively. So the snow is going to be rough, it's going to be tumbled, it's going to have a lot of character and depth to it. It's not going to just be this even-keeled, fresh snow. I want it to be lived in. Everything is starting to come along nicely, so let's look at some of the other parts of Holiday Hills that need some snow. The Woodland Scenic Snowflakes is honestly some of the best that I've ever used for making this type of snow. I've used other types of snow in the past from Department 56 and their fine particulate, everything up to their large particulate snow as well. The Department 56 fresh fallen snow is almost on par with the Woodland Scenic snow. However, I'm getting better results, in my opinion, with the Woodland Scenics than I ever have when I've made this kind of mixture with the fresh fallen snow from Department 56. Now, this is an interesting section of Holiday Hills that I had one vision in my mind, and then reality kind of became a little bit of a different thing. But I wanted these like snowy flats for a snowball fight and some other things that were going to be happening, and I've since wired these up to animate the snowball fight from Lemax, but adding snow to this, I was like, wow, what am I going to do? Because it's already icy, so we're going to do snowbanks along the edges and in the front. So I'm going to have my rough packed snow down below, and then around all of the layers, do drifted snow as well. And then I'll come back over and do like a sprinkling of the regular just flaked snow over top. Now, working with the Yulesteiner Brewery area, I've added a lot up there because the fountain was originally down in what I call the park section at the very base of Holiday Hills. But because I'm doing pictures with Santa, now I have moved this up here and repositioned my Rankin and Bass themed trees to go around it. And I'm just going to be packing snow roughly around to give it a well-traveled and textured look. Stepping down to the Christmas in the Park section, I need to add some snow effects here. Now, there are a couple things that I need to address. The first is I'm going to have a scene that I'm going to be having to take care of. But we'll do that after I do just this light sprinkling of snow. Now, again, I do have a drop cloth catching this, but I know I'm going to have to vacuum up after, because there's just snow going absolutely everywhere. I'm just doing a light sprinkling pretty much over everything. But as you can see, it's very quick in the overall process. Well, the snow in Holiday Hills looks great, and now I want to add one more effect to the snow. For me, what I like about a hard-packed snow that I have kind of created in Holiday Hills is a glistening effect. And to accomplish this, we're going to be using some ultra-fine glitter and a combination of water and Mod Podge. This will be 2 parts hot water to 1 part Mod Podge that I'll put into a mist setting and go around and lightly mist all of Holiday Hills, and then sprinkling this over top. Hopefully not glitter bombing my living room in the process. So let's get started. Starting on the right side of Holiday Hills, I'm just going to do a light misting of my Mod Podge solution. This is again 2 parts hot water to 1 part Mod Podge, and I'm just going to absolutely mist everything. I'm not worried about any sort of electrical issue because everything is nice and secure. And this is not getting it soaking wet, it's just a light misting. Then I'm just going to take my glitter and just lightly go over the top of this, and you can kind of see it falling. But it really does start to give it a glisten effect, and it will look great when it's all said and done. And I'm going to repeat this process all throughout Holiday Hills, so just a light spritzing, super fine, and then just glitter, glitter, glitter. I know this may be hard to see on screen right now, but trust me, the effect is working. And let's take a look at another section of Holiday Hills. So moving over to the houses of Holiday Hills, again, just a light spritzing kind of everywhere. I'm even doing some on the buildings as well, because, you know, that nice frosted look on the rooftop is always nice, and, you know, it's just glitter. It can come off. Now, a lot of people will say, you know, why didn't I put this into the snow? Well, the reason being is you can go ahead and pre-mix your glitter into the snow and place it that way, but you're going to lose 80% or not 90% of it in the snow itself. I want something that's just going to be a top coat, and I don't want to waste that much glitter. And of course, last but not least, let's take a look at Christmas in the Park here. Just do a light spritzing I want to make sure I get the top of the buildings as well in the front of this, because I definitely want that glistening effect on those. Now, I actually really lucked out because this is the same glitter that came on the Harrison house for the snowbanks around it, so everything kind of blends in perfectly with that. Alright, so now let's take a look at Holiday Hills. And here it is, Holiday Hills with a snowpack. I am really happy with how the Woodland Scenic Snow turned out, and adding the glitter just gives it that fun, glistening effect. This has been a fun and challenging build in the time frame that I've had to do it, and unfortunately for this season, Holiday Hills is mostly done. There's going to be a few more tweaks that I'm going to be doing to it, but they're very small. Adding a little extra snow here, adding an extra tree here or there before I do my final reveal video. But until then, enjoy what I have. Well, villaging friends, this is pretty much a wrap on Holiday Hills 2025. Thank you so much for being a part of this process, as I started in part 1 with a pile of foam, and now in part 9, I have a completed Christmas village behind me. Now, there are some things I did not get to this year that I really wanted to, but I just ran out of time. So that's going to be part of Holiday Hills 2.0 in 2026. There's going to be some fun reimaginings of some Department 56 lights, some Department 56 light, like a mashup effect. We're going to have some fun with some things in the future. Now, before I put out my final reveal video, I am going to fix a couple pieces of snow on the platform that I have goofed, and I want to add a couple more trees. And after the final reveal is done, I will also put out a catalog video so you can see everything that goes or went into Holiday Hills. So thank you so much for watching and being a part of this process, and until next time, keep on villaging! Happy holidays, and thanks for watching Building Holiday Hills Part 9, Adding Snow and Ground Cover. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and check out some of my other videos on how I made Holiday Hills, my 2025 Christmas platform. And until next time, keep on villaging!